Hello everyone and welcome on Beastie Geeks channel. Usually we make a lot of reviews, but this time we wanted to try something different and we made our first ranking.
We of course prepared already review of the Marvel United, so it's somewhere on our channel, and in this video, because of the CMON announced that new campaign with X-Men, we want to tell you more about the expansions to the first version of the game, especially that you can buy them also during the Kickstarter campaign.
The X-Men, yeah, exactly. CMON announced that some of the expansion from previous Marvel United campaign will be available in the X-Men campaign.
I think it's important to say that not all expansions from the first version of the game are equally good, I think.
I think they're all good, but some are just better.
Black Panther is the last in our ranking. We get only 3 heroes with special skills, which are okay, but we can find better skills even within the base game. But what makes this expansion being at the bottom of our ranking is the underwhelming villain and the very lately designed mechanic coming with him. Killmonger is not a big threat, and he simply changes tokens into crisis tokens. His threat cards are also not very punishing, so in general beating him is a piece of cake. And then we have an extra mechanic. Each hero bonds himself to one location, and if this location gets overflow, the hero loses 1 damage. It has potential when mixed with other mechanics, but solo it's rather nothing to bother with for too long. Because of the mechanics, this add-on should be at the very bottom of the ranking, because the only thing it adds is a challenge where you can win the game just by solving enhanced version of all 3 mission cards instead of chasing and fighting the villain. Of course, you can mix it with the base game villains, but solo is nothing to go crazy about. But what rescued this add-on from being the last in the ranking are the Guardians themselves. The skill cards are really refreshing and providing an extra level of strategy, especially comparing to the heroes from Wakanda mentioned earlier. Green Goblin is an interesting opponent, and spamming threat cards is a fine variation of the base game to keep you on toes during the session. Up to this, where you can't make other things than move in certain locations without being exposed. If you get spotted 3 times, you get quite painful penalties, making Enter the Spider-Verse good for playing only with this add-on or mixing it with other expansions. Heroes here are okay too. Spider-Man is fun to play, but we also get Spider-Ham, which is very underpowered, and his card set is one of the weakest in the entire All-In. Asgard tries to serve entirely different experience and introduces a hidden role mechanic. One of the players is a traitor trying to sabotage the rest of the players through the whole session. When he is discovered, he takes control over the lucky villain. Mechanics implemented to make this work are simple, so do not expect something very complex, but it serves its purpose. We get a lot of fun and laugh when blaming each other, and it works here really well. It's a little shame that actions on locations are very similar to what we get in other boxes, because Asgard was a good moment to introduce some more actions where we can influence other players. One warning, Tales of Asgard require at least 3 players at the table to play it. We were wondering if this expansion shouldn't be number 1 in our ranking. We get a full mini-campaign where first we need to face the Black Order in 3 sessions in a row, where each villain provides a different experience, especially Ebony Maw with its very unique Master Plan cards. Through those 3 plays, we are trying to stop Order from taking too many Infinity Stones, while we try to obtain special power-ups for the final encounter with Thanos. Fighting Thanos will be different each time, mainly because the sessions will change a lot depending on the stones Thanos has. The only problem is that if you were too good in previous scenarios, beating Thanos could be a bit too easy. cause power-up cards are incredibly strong stuff. And then we have Thanos Gauntlet, a gadget working almost only as a decoration and made from very, very thin plastic. Hail to the King, cause Sinister VI is the best Marvel United expansion so far, at least for us. You need to face at the same time all of the villains, and each of them behaves vastly different. The longer you wait with defeating the Sandman, the more health points he will have. On the other hand, not killing Kraven as the first one can result in many chaos, especially in duo with Electro. The other half of Sinister VI is not better, and this expansion is designed so tight you will always struggle with not enough time and not enough actions to perform. There are high chances you will lose a few times before you defeat the 6 for the first time, and still it will be done barely. The key to win is to adjust the order of defeating the villains depending on your team squad and situation on board. Sinister VI demands from the players much more planning ahead and much more strategic thinking than every other expansion, so that's why it deserves the number 1 in our ranking. And there is one extra add-on you should get, a Playmat. If you watched our previous review, you know we were complaining about the fact that the game is missing any board, and without the mat, the game gets like -5 penalty to its charm and transparency. Saying this, if you can't or simply won't afford everything, we easily recommend Playmat plus Sinister VI and or the Infinity Gauntlet. That's all for today, see you at the next game.